Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Profile. This is Tuesday, February 15th in our morning briefing. Want to start out by looking at the crude oil market this morning. We've been watching this balance area as it's been auctioning back and forth for the several months between the 85s and 93s. Yesterday it looked as though we may be breaking down and heading lower in this, and now this morning we've got some support, and this may actually be an overshoot of the prior value area low. If we start to get back up over 85.50s today, we're going to treat this as a probe failure, and we'll play this thing swing long all the way back to the value area highs. Keep an eye on this one today. As I said, this could be just an extension outside of that prior value area low, and as they work this prior balance area of 93s, 85s, if we snap back up inside of it, then that means we're going to go out the other side of this balance area to the unfair high territory. So this one's worth watching today for a possible trade. Tomorrow we've got crude report on Wednesday. So we'll be watching the crude market very closely this morning. Let's take a look at the euro market. Yesterday, as we were trading that to the short side, as we got later in the day, remember we said we needed to stay below 34.50s if there was going to be any continuation to the downside. Well, in the overnight session, they actually supported that level. If you look around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, they came down to the point of control from yesterday, 34.60s, and we've been supported down there. So the daily euro, after coming back through the range and coming back into the prior breakout area here around this 34.50 area, we're finding demand stepping in here again for this market. We were in this prior balance area for nearly a couple of months, also broke out, moved higher, came back through, and now we have obviously a bounce coming. We've got so far for the monthly volume node building here is at 36.28. So even pre-market here, as we're looking at these charts, we're looking at getting long at the 35, 35.10 area to play this back to the top side. If it gives us an entry, that's where the high volume node was from the overnight session. So the euro, again, kind of a tricky area. It may be a overshoot of this last balance area. If it does pull itself back up into it, then we can look for this to auction all the way back through. It clearly looks like it doesn't want to break down because they held those 34.50s last night. No follow through to the downside at all. So until those go out, we have to look for bounces back up into the high volume node at 36.30s. We've also been watching the bonds and the 10-year notes as they had broken that prior balance area. This is actually coming into an area which we would consider it almost a change of polarity, if you will, from the prior breakdown area. We have this B formation forming on the daily time frame, and yesterday, or I should say yesterday, we rallied up into it. This morning we're actually down below this, a little bit lower. We had a lot of volume going off at the 18s here. Remember, we're looking for continuation in this down in the bond market, because when you look at the bigger picture of things, it's just a continuation pattern. Should send us all the way back down to the top of the prior balance area of around 15s in the bond. So no, same situation. The charts almost look identical. We'll be looking for today a shorting opportunity. If this starts to roll over right into this prior balance area here, we're going to go ahead and short, and looking for continuation. Break this last 18 whole number here, and then head lower. This is giving us an opportunity right up against this prior breakdown area. So we'll be keeping an eye on the bond market today to see if there's any follow through to that to the downside. Let's take a look at the equity markets. As you can see, our equity markets continuing to climb higher here. S&P yesterday had continuation. We actually did make a new high. Was able to squeak out a new high. And again, this continues to strong stage 1 here development. Every time we get a stage 3 development, we go to a new stage 1, and the market just continues to move higher and higher here in the equity markets. NASDAQ looks very similar to this. We continue to buy pullbacks, right? Until we start collapsing below some prior balance areas, we continue to look to buy pullbacks. Yesterday, we were looking for two nodes on this 2350, 2250 area. There was some low volume nodes and a prior point of control from the trading session on Friday. We didn't get actually down to those numbers, nor did we get them in the Globex session. So we may be looking for those two areas this morning. Once we open up, it's going to depend on what they do with the retail sales number at 8:30 this morning. That'll be dependent upon that number coming out. So some news this morning. We had absolutely nothing in the market yesterday. A whole lot of nothingness the whole day, as a matter of fact. About the only entry that ever worked yesterday within the S&P was the long off the 25 area, first thing in the morning there, and taking it up into to a new high. Then we closed right back down against the the 27 level. So today we'll get some news at 8:30. Hopefully this will get our markets moving one direction or another, and based on that, we'll continue to look to buy pullbacks. As I said, that 22-23 area on the S&P, would like to see that get retested, and then maybe go challenge the 32s today. Okay. All right, folks. Have a good trading day. We'll see you in the room.